Welcome back to the Data Guy Show. I'm Naz, your resident tech enthusiast and professional skeptic. And with me, as always, is Mo, the guy who thinks context engineering is a perfectly normal thing to say at brunch. Mo, what are we getting into today?
Hey Naz, today we are talking about context engineering. And for listeners who caught our last episode on in context learning, this is the next step. If you thought teaching AI with just a few examples was wild, wait until you see how the whole information environment shapes what an AI can do. It's not just the latest buzzword, it's the backbone of making AI actually useful, reliable, and dare I say, trustworthy.
Wait, so it's not just about writing clever prompts anymore? You're telling me there's a whole job for context engineers now?
Absolutely. Think of it like this. If prompt engineering is picking the right question, context engineering is setting up the whole room so the AI can answer it well. It's about curating everything the model sees before it responds.
So, if last time was about showing the AI a few good examples, now we're talking about setting the stage for the whole performance.
Exactly. In context learning is like giving the AI a few lines to memorize. Context engineering is designing the whole play, the script, the props, even the lighting. Is the difference between teaching a trick and building a whole act.
Okay, so let's start simple. What exactly is context engineering, and why should anyone care?
Great place to start. Context engineering is the practice of managing all the information an AI model gets before it answers you. It's not just the question you ask, it's the data, the history, the tools, everything. The goal? To make sure the model gives you consistent, accurate, and scalable results.
So it's like prepping for an interview. You don't just show up and wing it, you bring notes, background info, maybe even a cheat sheet.
Exactly. And if you bring too much irrelevant stuff, you get confused. Too little, and you miss the point. That's the context window problem. LLMs can only remember so much at once.
Wait, so these giant AIs have memory problems? That's comforting.
They do. Their context window is like a whiteboard. If you fill it with random doodles, there's no room for the important stuff. That's why context engineering is all about prioritizing what matters, filtering out noise, and structuring info so the model can actually use it.
Give me an example. When does this go wrong?
Oh, plenty of times. Ever had a chatbot forget what you said 2 minutes ago or give you an answer that's totally off topic? That's usually bad context management. There's even a name for it, lost in the middle. Important details get buried and the model just forgets.
So it's like when I try to remember my grocery list and end up buying 5 kinds of cheese, but forget the bread.
Perfect analogy. That's why we use techniques like summarizing, filtering, and structuring context. It's about making sure the model's grocery list is clear and focused.
All right, so what are the tricks of the trade? How do you actually engineer context?
There are a few core techniques. First, prompt engineering, writing clear, targeted instructions. Then there's retrieval augmented generation or RAG, which is just a fancy way of saying fetch the latest info and add it in. In context learning is another, showing the model examples right in the prompt. And for the pros, there's soft prompting, which uses vectors to guide the model.
Hold up, vectors? You promised no math.
No math, I swear. Just think of soft prompting as giving the model a nudge in the right direction, like a coach whispering tips from the sidelines. The details are in the blog post for anyone who wants to geek out.
So you're saying you can make an AI smarter just by changing what you feed it, not by retraining it.
Exactly, that's the beauty of context engineering. It's flexible, fast, and you don't need to mess with the model's internals. Fine-tuning is like rewiring the brain. Context engineering is like giving better instructions.
And what about when things get really complicated, like long conversations or switching topics?
That's where advanced strategies come in. We use conversation and summarization to keep things short and focused, track key facts like user preferences, and even manage different layers of memory short term, mid term, and long term. Sometimes we break big tasks into smaller steps or use multiple specialized agents.
So it's like running a restaurant kitchen. You've got to keep track of orders, ingredients, and who's doing what all at once.
Spot on. And if you mess up the context, you end up with burnt toast or worse, a chatbot that gives you legal advice when you ask for a pizza recipe.
I'd pay to see that. But seriously, where does this all matter in the real world?
Everywhere, customer service bots that actually remember your issue, healthcare AIs that summarize patient records, legal tools that sift through documents, even education platforms that adapt to your learning style. Context engineering is what makes these systems reliable and useful.
And it's not just text anymore, right? I heard something about multimodal context.
Right again. Modern LMs can handle images, audio, even video. That means richer applications. Think AI that can read a medical chart and look at an X ray, or help a student with both text and diagrams.
So, context is the new software architecture for AI?
That's the big shift. Instead of just writing code, AI developers now design the flow and structure of information. Context pipelines orchestrate memory, history, tool outputs, and real time data. It's modular, auditable, and adaptive, just like good software architecture.
And let me guess, the demand for context engineers is about to explode.
You got it. As AI gets more capable, context engineering is becoming a core discipline. It's how we'll build, debug, and scale the next generation of AI.
All right, let's wrap this up. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Context engineering is the secret sauce that makes AI reliable, scalable, and actually helpful. It's not just about clever prompts, it's about designing the whole information environment.
And for anyone building AI systems, mastering context engineering is as fundamental as knowing how to write code or design a database. If you want to see how these techniques work in practice and get the nitty-gritty details, check out the full blog post and let's talk app source code at github.com. There's even a breakdown of context pipelines and how to avoid the dreaded lost in the middle syndrome.
Don't miss it. Head to thedataguide.pro for the full story, examples, and all the technical goodies. And if you liked this episode, subscribe, leave us a review, and tell us what AI puzzle you want us to tackle next.
Thanks for joining us on the Data Guy Show. Remember, in AI, context isn't just king, it's the whole kingdom.
I couldn't have said it better. See you next time.